Were you told you were shy? Do you identify as shy? Do you hate that word now? Do you just wish you could get over it and get on with your life? Welcome to Shining Beyond Shy, empowering you to create a greater life than you ever thought was possible. With your Shining Beyond Shy host, Fiona Cups. Hi guys, Fiona Cuts here, and welcome to this episode of Shining Beyond Shy. And I'm calling this episode, which makes me laugh, Kindnessissimo. And I just realized I have had this podcast in my head or in my awareness, however you want to put it, for the last couple of days. And it hasn't been the time to do it, even though it kind of should have been the time to do it, in that my lovely team who helps me with it, well, it would have been helpful for them to have it before today. Hello team, I know you listen. And it's funny, I was looking through just now, having finally decided what I want to talk about. I was looking through the titles of my podcast, and only 3 weeks ago I had the podcast True Kindness, and I know somewhere else I've had kindness. And it's so interesting with this dental journey. It just feels as though all the time I'm going deeper and deeper in vulnerability, in getting clarity on what's true for me, and included in that clarity of what's true for me, what actually is kindness for me. So here we are with Kindnessissimo. Maybe in a month's time it will be, I don't know, beyond Kindnessissimo. Who knows where this journey is going to go. Anyway, here we are for now. So I'm now in this beautiful space. So I'm in Montenegro, where I used to live, and I'm with my amazing friends from who I met in Hebden Bridge years ago now. So they chose to come to Montenegro a year ago, and we spent some time when they arrived last year. I've seen them a couple of times since then, and very fortunately for me, their neighbors are away, and I'm getting to stay in this amazingly beautiful apartment for the week. Thank you very much. And it's that, I mean, it was similar to where I was in Croatia. It's so hot. You don't really go out in the day. You enjoy the early mornings and the evenings. That's how life is, really. So here I am with friends with, you see, I'm wearing my teeth. And this is what prompted this, what I was thinking about. So I've been experimenting with sometimes having my teeth in and sometimes not. And the dentist basically said to me two things. It's like your gums require quite a lot of time of not having the teeth in, not having the dentures in. And I took that a couple of weeks ago when they said that, right, that's it, I'm not going to wear dentures, I don't really like dentures. And it's like, okay, I had the excuse of being kind to my gums. And then what I realized, it's like, it's very, very interesting. When I first had this done, I mean, you could tell in my face that I'd had something done, but what's occurred recently in the last couple of weeks is a real sagging in my face if I don't wear the dentures. And so it was interesting. It's like yesterday, I wasn't sure what to talk about. And I just realized, even though I'm with my friends and my friend's daughter, who hasn't realized what's going on, but she's like, Fiona, you look different. Sometimes you look older. Sometimes you look so young. And sometimes actually you look your age or even a bit older. Thank you very much. And so she knows that there's something going on with my face, but she hasn't worked out exactly what. And it's not that I'm keeping it a secret, but I don't particularly want to go into long discussions with her. So let's see what occurs over the next couple of days. But yesterday I was just like really clear. No, I would like 24 hours without having these dentures in. And actually it turns into 36 hours because of the night. And my mouth was really, really happy. And I did go out like that. And I looked at a couple of pictures, oh yeah, sagging face, sagging face. It's funny when I do that with light, it's like it goes dark. Yeah, the darkness shows the sagging face. It's like, oh, okay. That's okay. That's actually okay. I'm willing to be the kindness to my gums and when that's required. But what I also realized is that I actually love my dentures. Can you believe that? And so you may have heard me talk about how, for me, having dentures was kind of one of the worst things to happen along this journey, and how I considered dentures to be for the old, the infirm, the ugly, the stupid, actually, the demented, the ridiculous. Those were all my points of view. And the great thing is that nowadays, points of view can change so quickly. So when I got my dentures, encouraged by my dentist, I wore them on the way home. And it was fine. I talked in the shop, briefly, but I talked in the shop. They understood me. My dentures didn't fall out and I didn't die. So that was kind of a result. But I just had a lot of surgery on my lower jaw, and I didn't want to, it's like my upper jaw wasn't inflamed, but I didn't really want to be playing around with the dentures when I had pain and swelling and stuff in the lower jaw. So for 4 days, I just ignored the dentures, and it wasn't like I hated them. They were just there, and I was getting used to seeing them around. And then I had to go to the Croatian police about my residence permit. And my friend just said, "Hey, Fiona, you can't go to the police without your teeth in." That makes me laugh saying that. And so for the first time, it's now a while ago, 10 days ago, I wore my dentures for several hours in a row, and actually it was fine. And what I've realized in the last 10 days is that I'm really grateful for them, because I can put them in and my face kind of becomes more attractive and more like me. And also, I think, you can watch the video, see what you think. And I can talk more easily. It's like I seem to lisp a bit. It's funny, I can't say that word. Lisp. I seem to lisp a bit when I don't have my teeth in. So I can actually talk more easily, mainly. There are times when it's a bit full on and I use the tools, but it's easier to talk and be understood. But there's like a kindness for me sometimes in being able to go out and just feel attractive and normal in a way. It's like, oh, isn't that interesting? On different days, kindness to me in my body is actually different. Yesterday, it was just like, you know what? I'm just not going to wear the dentures. I require a day away. Today, it's been, you know what? I'm going to go down to have a coffee. I'm going to go to the supermarket. I'm going to do this podcast. And actually, I choose to put the dentures in and enjoy having these teeth, enjoy flashing my smile at you. It's like I'm actually enjoying that. And it's interesting because these dentures are just for a few weeks, but this could be how my teeth, my permanent teeth, will look. And I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, that's great. Actually, I like the way they look. And I didn't know much about this, but I have seen things like I've been following on TikTok, the hashtag turkey teeth. And it's like sometimes people come away from these dental tourism places with teeth that really do not look normal or healthy. They just look, over white and over perfect. And so I'm grateful to see what these look like. And so I can't eat with these. Maybe I could if I made an effort, but I take them out to eat. And again, that's a kindness to me. So it's like I've developed a way of eating that I really enjoy, and foods that I like eating, and they taste better when I don't have these teeth in. So that's what I'll do. Except when I was invited from my friends to have dinner the other night, and I was like, oh, okay, you know what? I'm going to go down and kind of quote unquote be normal. And I just enjoyed making this absolutely delicious gazpacho soup with the ripe tomatoes and cucumber and other veg that my friends are growing. It's so delicious. It's so delicious. It's sometimes hard to get nutritious food, and easy to get the ice cream and the cake, and harder to get the nutritious food in my body. And my body was so grateful that I'd started to make this gazpacho. So I'm going to continue with that. it's funny, when I find something I like, I kind of go with it until I don't like it anymore. So all of that to say is that kindness, it's like I could decide that kindness is never wearing my dentures because they're horrible, or kindness is always wearing my dentures because I can't bear to go out and have a saggy face. I can't bear people to think I'm old. And it's like, actually, do you know what? One of the things that I've really learned during these last few weeks is I've gone into a different level of, I'm going to kind of swear, not giving a shit, not giving a fuck what other people think. And I'm so grateful for that. I mean, I'm somebody, and, you know, coming back to the theme of shyness, often shy people are really, really aware of what other people think of them. And really, this has invited me to a new level of, hey, you know what? You don't know what it's like to be me, to, I mean, not from a victim point of view. I mean, I wrote to my brother telling him what I'd gone through. I was like, oh my God, he could go, or anybody, when I tell them some of the details, could go into it, oh, poor you. And I'm like, you know what, I'm sharing it with him for a reason. And it's like, I don't have a point of view about it. This is just my choice for my body. And it's a total kindness to me in a way that I didn't think it would be. And so I suppose what I would like to say is that kindness actually is a moment by moment choice. We don't know how it's going to be. And it's interesting. I've met this really nice woman on the beach who actually comes from the Ukraine, and she and her son was already living here. And so he persuaded her to leave the Ukraine a couple of months ago, a few months ago now. And I have a sense that she may not have done, because she loves the Ukraine. And I mean, she was very interesting today. She's like, well, you know what, where I live, the bombs aren't that close. And I couldn't help it. I laughed. And not because, obviously, I'm pleased that there are bombs, but just like, oh, isn't that interesting that that's her point of view? She wants to be at home and the bombs aren't that close and she can live like that. And, you know, on our theme of kindness, maybe that's what she can, not that she would see it in these words, probably. Maybe that's what's kind to her, to be around her family, her other family, and she's with her son here, to be in her homeland. Maybe that is what's kind for her. And, you know, we might not think that. We might think it's much kinder to be away from that. But my point is, we don't know. We have to be willing to tune in 10-second increments. And this is a tool from Access Consciousness, to be willing to be present all the time, so that all the time we can see. And I just said to her, yeah, I'm supposed to be going to Bulgaria next. It's like the energy is really to go to Sofia and then to this hill town close by. I mean, I've been by the sea in the heat for so long this summer, and I will be coming back. And just to have a different environment for a week or so is just really yummy. And I'm intrigued by Bulgaria. I've never been there before. And I haven't booked my ticket yet. It's in 48 hours time. And I heard today that there's tension between Kosovo and Serbia. My bus goes through Kosovo and Serbia. I mean, I don't think it will stop me going, but it's like, I've just got used to doing things last minute during COVID and during this more uncertain time on our planet. I mean, I could change on a dime and do something else from here. My sense is I will go to Bulgaria, but it's like, what's the kindness here? And again, I had this discussion. Somebody made a random comment that made me doubt the wisdom of going off on a night bus. And I was like, oh, maybe I just want to stay close by and not do too much, particularly with my teeth, blah, blah, blah. Actually, I'm fine, and I have an ease on night buses or on buses in general. And the energy for me is to be in Bulgaria for at least a short time. I can't explain it, and I am willing at this point to just follow the energy. I know that that is what's kind to me and my body. So I hope you've got a sense of this energy of kindnessissimo, as I'm calling it. Oh, one more thing I'd like to talk about again on this subject is I am staying in an absolutely beautiful apartment this week. I mean, I was very fortunate that my friend's neighbor is away, and I got the chance to stay at a much reduced rent in a really spacious, really bright, really luxurious apartment. And this is the kind of place where I would love to be staying in all the time. And one of the things that has occurred for me with this tooth journey or teeth journey, whatever we say, is that I haven't been able, well, some of the ways that I normally create money, I haven't been able to. And of course, having the teeth done costs money. And it's made me really, really, really aware of my points of view around money. So I was really clear, no, I'm having this done. And I almost didn't hear the amount of money it was. And I then did some research and found out that it's much cheaper here than in the UK. And I mean, I'm sure there are places in the world that you could have it done cheaper. But when I look at the turkey teeth hashtag on Instagram or TikTok, wherever it was, I'm very pleased I'm here in Croatia. So I almost didn't hear the amounts. And like I said, I did do a reasonableness check and went to somebody else, and it turned out to be almost exactly the same amount. So I did do some research afterwards, but I was really clear, no, I am having these teeth. And although this has brought stuff up for me around money, what I realized is how much unkindness there is when we don't create the money that supports our body. So I'm really clear, I will create the money to have these teeth. What if I could have that clarity? Oh, I will create the money to have yummy places to live. And from time to time, can you believe this? I judge myself about my choice to move around so much. Oh, you know, you could stay somewhere cheap, you know, you could this, you could that. And it's like, no, what if I could follow the energy of what's kind? But it's almost like I've heard this many times in Access Consciousness, that not creating the money to have the lifestyle our bodies would like isn't kind to us. And it's almost like I'm hearing that on a new level. So what if all of us were willing to create the money that would allow us to be kind to our bodies? So everything that brings up and anything that doesn't allow us to all do that, let's destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys, perverts and beyonds. And I'd love to share something that I heard from Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness. So he talks about when he had a massive tax bill that was due, let's say in 9 or 10 months later, and he did not have the money. And for a lot of us, we would spend 9 or 10 months worrying and wondering how he could get the money. For Gary Douglas, what he did was he just asked a question, will this be okay? And he got a yes. Somehow or other, in the next 9 or 10 months, I will find a way of making this okay. And we don't, I mean, he doesn't say what it was, whether it was disputing the tax bill, finding a way to pay it, or whatever it was. And so I've been asking that too. Will this big expense that I have and the some of the ways that I create money not really being available in the same way at the moment, will it all turn out okay? You notice if you're watching on video, my body really moved there, and my body is like, yes, Fiona, don't worry about this, it will all be okay. And that's not to say that I can just sit back and not do things that will actualize money. It's not about that. It's about being willing to receive the money, being willing to take the steps when it's time to take the steps. And I've had times when I've been like, you know what? I mean, interestingly enough, when I arrived here in my friend's house, my laptop wasn't working. I just had, I don't even remember how long, 2, 3, 4 days with doing the minimum that was required for my businesses on my phone. I mean, I'm a very fast typer. I love having my laptop to do a lot of my work. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to have a bit of a holiday for a few days. And it's been amazing. It was a real contribution. So I'm not saying don't have those spaces where you don't work, but also it's like me having the information, all of this will turn out okay. It's not about, oh, in that case, I can just lie on the beach and the money will show up. It's like I have to be willing to receive it, and I have to be willing to take the actions required to receive it. And those actions can be easier and take less time and effort and energy than ever before. And so one of the things that I've been asking for is ease with money, ease with where I am in my life. It's like I have had, since I chose these new teeth, I've had a lot of ease with the teeth. What if I could have ease with everything around it, with the money, the business, the lifestyle? What if we could all have ease with everything? What if it's time for that? And the kindness and the ease go together. That's how I see it. So what if we can be the kindness to us that creates the ease, joy, glory life we would love to be living? So anything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, fallen angels, boys and beyonds. And as ever, I wasn't sure what I was going to say. And once I start talking, of course, I carry on. How does it get better than this? So thank you, my friends. Thank you for listening to Kindnessissimo. What Kindnessissimo can we all be for us and our sweet bodies? If you've enjoyed this podcast, please share it with other people. Some of these podcasts, when I'm talking about my teeth, are pretty general, so please feel free to share them with your shy friends. But there's a lot in here that can contribute to everyone. And please, if you do know shy people, please let them know about this podcast. What if every shy person on the planet had the possibility of hearing these tools and stepping out of shyness and creating a life that they'd actually enjoy to be living in? Okay, that's all from me today. I will see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I'm so grateful for you. It would be great if you could subscribe. Great if you could leave a review wherever you're listening. And if you'd like some quick, simple tips to overcome shyness wherever you are, please go to my website, fionacuts.com, where you can download my free product, 5 Steps to Overcoming Shyness Wherever You Are. Thank you again, and see you next time.